Hey everyone, Brayden here coming to you with a breaking Disney news update as Tuesday night, end of the workday, a huge news avalanche was brought down on us from Disney, as not only do we get the long anticipated date Spaceship Earth will be closing for its dramatic overhaul, as well as a new piece of art to go with the announcement, we also got the news out of nowhere that Bob Iger is stepping down as the CEO of the Walt Disney Company, immediately being replaced by former Parks Chairman Bob Chapek. And as you can imagine, the Disney community is going insane right now. There are a lot of takes out there. I'll give you mine, but first we have to talk about this brand new Spaceship Earth info. So less than 1 hour after Disney drops this huge news that for the first time in 15 years they're getting a new CEO, the Disney Parks blog gave us this new press release announcing that Spaceship Earth will go down for its big reimagining May 26th, 2020. And with the announcement, we got this concept art of the Egyptian scene on the attraction, now adorned with tons and tons of projection effects where you can see all the hieroglyphs are actually lighting up. This new art adds on to a trend we saw with the announcement at D23 at the D23 Expo from Speak of the Devil Bob Chapek, who was up on stage and actually explained to us how the attraction will be gaining a story light narrator, where a light is going to be following you through the attraction, which I've heard is going to be done using projection. I was hoping it was going to be a fiber optic effect, but that's what it looks like. But it looks like a lot of the budget for this reimagining of Spaceship Earth is focused on fixing the ride track, which, if you've noticed, has all these bumps these days throughout the attraction. They're going to fix all that. And there's also some stuff they need to do with the building structure itself, with Reedy Creek, which is the government that oversees Walt Disney World, making sure this 1982 park icon is up to the 2020 governmental code, as far as like the rules and regulations and all the code goes for the building. And there's a lot of like reorienting they're going to do. If you look at the back, they're going to be taking out the VIP lounge and the post-show area, and they're going to be building a whole new building on the back of that. And rumor has it that that might be the new queue for the attraction. And if they put the queue on the backside, that'll mean not only fixing the track and all the bumps on it, but also reorienting the entire load area for the attraction. So a lot of these sort of structural changes that need to be made to the attraction look like they might be eating up a lot of the budget, which would explain why all the art so far we've gotten looks like we're looking at projection effects, and projection mapping is something that's more on the cheap side to do than, of course, having to build like all new animatronics, all new sets, and all sorts of new stuff. Of course, the thing is, the attraction is getting a new theme, where now instead of being about communication, it's going to be about storytelling. So we are most definitely going to get new stuff on the attraction, the second half especially, where I think it will be a lot of like reskinned animatronics, a lot of new stuff, but it does look like a lot of the budget is going towards more infrastructural things than anything else, which is something I just wanted to highlight. And to that effect, if you actually look in the art, you might notice that the ride cars are the ones that we have in the current version, except now they actually, it looks like they put like some sort of plastic over the screens, so the screens are no longer going to be on the ride car. Instead, they're just going to be covered up. I sort of wish we'd get new ride vehicles, but I think that sort of speaks to the fact that this is very much a structural, fixing the ride track, all that sort of stuff. Let me know your thoughts on my predictions there and some of the things I've been hearing, as well as the art we got. I'm not 100% on them reorienting the way you enter the attraction, but from a park ops perspective, it would make sense to load from the back, because then you can have an indoor queue and it reduces bottlenecks. And that's really the whole focus of this Epcot Spine project, where they're reimagining everything from outside the front gates all the way through to the port of entry. All of that, beyond the aesthetics and the new offerings we're getting, the whole point of it is to have maximum crowd flow, make it as easy as possible to get from the front of the park to all the festival offerings, make it very convenient. If it's easier to get to the festival areas and the booths and they're closer to the front of the park and there's better crowd flow, of course that means better sales for Disney, and that also means a more enjoyable guest experience. Disney says they'll be sharing more details on this reimagining of Spaceship Earth in the future. May 26th is when Spaceship Earth closes for the update, so make sure to get out there if you're in the area before then, if you want to experience the current ride before it goes away and gets this new storytelling theme. And then, of course, we have the big news. Bob Iger, after 15 huge years as CEO of the Walt Disney Company, seemingly out of nowhere, has announced he is stepping down as CEO of Disney. That is crazy. He will remain the chairman of the board till next year through 2021, and in succession to him, former Parks Chairman Bob Chapek is taking up the reins as CEO of the Walt Disney Company. They held an impromptu conference call where Bob Iger said the reason he's stepping down is to focus on the creative side of the company and help familiarize Bob Chapek with that aspect before Bob Iger actually exits the company. Bob Iger then went on CNBC. Here's a little bit of what he had to say.
Now, for investors investors, this seems abrupt.
Well, we've had a succession process that's been ongoing with the board for actually a few years. And we identified Bob a while ago as a likely candidate to succeed me, but they went through a thorough process and discuss other possibilities. So it's, again, something that the board has been engaged in for quite a while. So it's been a fun run, and I'm looking forward to the run ending. But I still have a job to do.
This is all just so shocking to me because, first of all, I expected Iger to step down from CEO next year. We've had headlines for years saying Iger is going to step down in 2021. Why is that? He has a contract until 2021. He has an exit package into 2021 with Disney. And despite some fans saying, oh, we all knew this day was coming, despite me talking about Disney corporate and the management stuff for years, I never really envisioned Bob Chapek taking up the reins as CEO this soon, just simply because of the fact that I expected Iger, and I think the media did as well, to stay through to 2021. And it really wasn't clear that Bob Chapek was like the heir apparent, like some previous people were that ended up not being the heir apparent, like the previous executive, Tom Staggs, who was in charge of the parks, that did seem like the next guy that was going to take up the reins, and he didn't. He actually left the company. So to see another parks chairman here actually become the CEO, it's actually kind of cool, but we'll see how it goes there. The thing is, in the Disney parks fan community, Bob Chapek is sort of the one everyone turns to when something doesn't work out well or some unpopular changes are made, and they say, it's Bob Chapek's fault. So you can imagine the reaction online about Bob Chapek becoming CEO here. Personally, though, I love Disney and I want to see Disney succeed even more than they already have under Iger. So I want to see how Bob Chapek does in this new spot he's risen to before, making any judgments there, because there really haven't been many CEOs in the history of the Walt Disney Company. He's only the 7th in a near 100-year history of the company. So this is no small matter. This is first day on the job. So I want to wish good luck to Bob Chapek because this is definitely a big, big deal. The thing that I'm more focused on, I was talking about how Iger was supposedly going to leave in 2021, going to step down from CEO. And my whole focus is, why is he stepping down early, right? Why is he stepping down from CEO to just being the chairman of the board, when he had this contract into 2021? The timing here is so weird because Disney took a huge drop today on their stock, one of the largest they've had in years, largely due to the whole stock market, which has been falling due to concerns about the supply chain in China, due to the outbreak going on there and spreading around the world. This is poised to affect the Disney parks and already has, with 2 of the Disney resorts, which are currently closed and have been for a month now, which is pretty crazy to think about. 2 Disney resorts have been closed this long. There's a lot of theories as to why Bob Iger would step down early. Personally, my thought immediately was on Bob Iger running for political office. I'm not political. This is not a political channel, but entertaining this theory of if Iger stepped down early because of politics. The weird timing here is Iger is stepping down right near the end of the presidential primary season here in the United States. And looking at Disney's own political pollsters at 538, which is a subsidiary of ABC, which is a subsidiary of Disney, they say it's essentially a 50-50 chance that nobody gets enough delegates to secure the Democratic nomination for president outright. And Bob Iger has always talked about and entertained questions about a possible run for president. The establishment really seems to dislike the only candidate who even has a shot right now of securing the nomination outright. And if he doesn't, all the delegates, they go up for grabs. And on top of that, it's going to unleash a ton of mostly establishment super delegates that also get a say in who becomes the nominee. And we know that Bob Iger has a lot of personal funds that he could put into a campaign, and all he would have to do is get those super delegates and present himself as an establishment figure, and it could totally be possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I think it's highly unlikely that he's going to run for president this late in the game, but to say it's truly impossible is not true, just based on how the primaries work on the party he'd be likely to run for. So I'm really wading into territory I don't fully understand there, but I just wanted to throw that out there, sort of entertain a funny theory. What if Iger's leaving Disney to become president of the United States? I don't know. I kind of thought that was funny. There's a lot of other rumors out there as to what could be going on with him leaving early. Maybe it's stock price related. Maybe he wants to leave, on a high note. He cares a lot about his legacy. He's written a whole book about his legacy and all the acquisitions. That could be another reason. Let me know what you guys think about this situation with Bob Iger stepping down as the CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Definitely a historic day for sure. Be sure to subscribe to those notifications on so you don't miss any of the latest news on the way. There's so much going on, and I guarantee you there will be more developments on this front, as well as the Spaceship Earth stuff we were talking about. There's so much happening in Walt Disney World. Stay tuned for an Epcot construction February tour, which I'm very excited to give to you. I'll be talking to you very soon. This is Brayden. Thank you so much for watching. Have a magical day.